You know that little red sticker on the phone or on the wall next to it that says, "In an emergency, dial 911. And tell them you're at 2973 Oakwood Street on the 3rd floor, room 312. Yeah, that one. Well, that's an example of today's myth. That businesses think, we'll just put a sticker out there, so we're done with Kerry's Law and Ray Baum's Act. Newsflash, that sticker is not a location system. If anything, it's just a tiny motivational poster that's got some numbers on it. Because when the call comes in and it's panic breathing, smoke alarms, someone yelling help, and when asked where they are, the caller says, "I don't know, I just work here." Your little wall sticker doesn't magically jump into the call and whisper all the right info to the dispatcher's headset. So today we're going to talk about dispatchable location myths and why stickers were never enough and what enough actually looks like in the real world. And that's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a NINA certified ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I bring you the latest, most informative, and sometimes controversial takes on emergency communications. Today we're into dispatchable location myths. Stickers on the wall are not enough. Now, to be fair, I love good stickers. Stickers are great. They jazz up laptops. They make people feel like progress happened. And if you're 12 and you get one on your paper at school, you did a good job. But if your emergency calling plan depends on the fact that the caller will calmly read the sticker to the police dispatcher, then your plan is not a plan. It's just a wish with the adhesive backing. So let's break down what people think dispatchable location is, what it really is, what it should be, and why the difference matters, especially when seconds get expensive. Myth number 1, telling people what to say is a dispatchable location. This one's a classic. The organization prints signs that say, tell 911 your building name, your floor, your wing, and your room number. And on paper, it sounds reasonable. But in reality, emergencies don't follow your script. Sometimes the caller isn't an employee, it's a visitor, a patient, a student, a contractor, or maybe even a delivery driver. Could be a kid hiding in a closet. They don't know what cubicle 2C 231 is, or wing C South, for that matter. And they're not about to go hunting for signage like it's a museum scavenger hunt. But even when it is an employee, stress wipes memory. People forget their own phone number under pressure, so betting your response time on somebody remembering where a room label is, like building an EZNet out of wet cardboard and optimism. Yeah, dispatchable location is not what a human can describe. Dispatchable location is what the system can deliver. Myth number 2, our street address is good enough. Now, that's another popular one. We've got the correct street address on file, so we're fine. Okay, if you're a single-family home, that might be workable. Or you're the gas station or the convenience store. But if you're anything else, it's likely not. A hospital, a high-rise, a campus, or a warehouse, or a hotel or stadium are very different. And then you've got mixed-use areas like corporate parks and school districts, and commercial retail buildings with multiple entrances, multiple floors, where one street address can cover a small city worth of places where a person can be in trouble. A street address will get responders to the property line. A dispatchable location gets them to the person. And if your building's got multiple entrances or locked lobbies, badge-only elevators that's separated by towers or which side you're on problems, then the difference between address and dispatchable is the difference between help is here and help is circling. Myth number 3. We've got a PBX, so we already handle location. So let's talk about the old way that this got handled. The MLTS PBX never really sent any data to the 911 center. You see, in the legacy world, everything gets mapped back to a telephone number. Every phone needed to send a unique phone number for that specific device, and that would then allow a preloaded static record in a database to be displayed to the 911 call taker. like caller ID on steroids. You know when I'm calling from my house, but you have no idea if I'm in the bedroom, the kitchen, or the basement. So if your MLTS sends the same phone number for every device calling 911, the dispatcher only sees the main address. And often, each one of those database phone numbers typically has a fee associated to it that you pay every month, usually in a hidden bulk charge. The hoteling problem in businesses. Now, we're not talking about the Hilton versus the Marriott. We're talking about systems and problems with MLTS in general. We're talking about device mobility through things like softphones, Wi-Fi calling, remote work, and nomadic phones that can move. We have users who move, and we've got devices that roam, with both having the ability to take their number, aka location, with them. You see the problem with legacy PBXs? People sit wherever there's caffeine and a power outlet. That's a big problem, and that's where static locations in a dynamic environment turn into fiction real fast. So when your location data doesn't get updated automatically when the device moves, then your location is just a story that you tell yourself so you can sleep at night. And often you pay for an application that can only keep it close to current. And a lot of times, close doesn't count enough. What it actually looks like. Okay, let's make this practical. Enough means the call is delivered with location information that a call taker and responders can act on immediately without playing a guessing game. It means the system can identify where the caller is at a level that responders can use. Building, floor, suite, room, zone, whatever your environment requires. It requires the location be maintained as things change. Moves, adds, changes, renovations, renumbering, new wings, temporary trailers, or reconfigured floors altogether. These things happen weekly in the commercial environment. The information needs to be consistent across the ways people call. That means desk phones, soft phones, mobile, Wi-Fi calling, your UC client, whatever your equipment allows. And finally, the result needs to be operational, not theoretical. It works on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and also on a Saturday at 2 a.m. And now here's the part that makes everyone sigh. Enough is not one thing, it's a chain. And chains fail at the weakest link. You can have great internal maps, but if your call path can't deliver usable information, when someone dials 911, you're still back to "Where are you?" shouted over chaos. The sticker problem explained without dunking on stickers. Stickers are great as part of a program. They're great to reinforce behavior. They can educate. But stickers are not a substitute for engineering. A sticker doesn't know which floor the caller is on, which entrance is closest, the difference between Tower A and Tower B. It doesn't get updated when you remodel, and it doesn't help when the caller can't speak. And it can't help when the caller isn't in the room that's got the sticker. So unless your wallpaper is one big sticker, your plan ends at "we put up signage," because you're really saying we outsource critical location accuracy to the most stressed human in the building and some paper with adhesive backing. That is not a public safety strategy. That is a coin flip. Reality check. Let's take a quick reality check here. Picture a 30-story building. One street address, multiple tenants. Multiple elevator banks. A lobby security desk, 2 stairwells, bunch of restricted access doors, and a floor plan that changed last year, and half the staff still calls the conference room by their old names. Now imagine a caller that says, "I'm on the 3rd floor." Which 3rd floor? Some buildings skip numbers. Some have mezzanines. Some have 3 on 2 different elevator banks because how they segment the towers. Responders arrive. They've got to pick an entrance. Security's got to unlock something. Someone's got to guide them. Guidance takes time, and time is the one resource you've never got extra of. But with a dispatchable location that's accurate, responders can move with purpose. When it's not, before responders respond, they've got to search. And although searching feels like action, in an emergency, it's actually delay that's wearing a uniform. The bottom line. If your dispatchable location strategy depends on a sticker, you don't have a strategy, you've got hope with adhesive. You don't need perfection, but you do need a system that's able to deliver usable location reliably in some process that keeps it accurate as the environment changes. Stickers can stay. I'm not anti-sticker. I'm just anti-sticker as a life safety plan. I'm just anti-sticker as a life safety plan. That wraps up this episode of Tips Today in Public Safety. Thanks so much for listening. For more updates and insights, follow me on social media at Fletch911, and be sure to visit 911tips.com for a complete archive of our previous episodes. My blogs are available online at Fletch.tv, and my professional website is Fletch911.com. Stay safe. Thanks so much for listening, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. We'll catch you next time. Take care.
You've been listening to Tips Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.